been a rough winter in Spokane, but it has been absolutely perfect at Gonzaga. The Bulldogs are taking aim at 28-0 and standing in their way a group of wounded Pacific Tigers. The Zags have dominated the WCC from the start. No reason to believe they can't keep it going. The fans at the Kennel, they're fired up and ready to cheer on number one. And great to have you with us, everyone. Along with Francis Williams, I'm Tom Glasgow. Welcome to the WCC This Week. Another week at the top of the polls for the Bulldogs, and they're playing like it.
Absolutely. Well, today we get the treat of seeing the number one ranked team in the country, but it's that time of year. Kansas and Baylor matched up a little bit earlier today. Kansas gets a 2-point win, but I think we're in for a treat today as the Zags get it done here at home today.
You know, it's been a transition season in the conference with a handful of new head coaches.
Well, we got 4 new coaches in the league this year: Kyle Smith, Coach Sindek, Terry Porter, and then Damon Stoudemire. And we get a chance today to see Coach Stoudemire up close and personal.
Caught up with Damon a few minutes ago. Asked him what he knows now about being a head coach that he didn't know before the season started.
I got more gray hairs. I got to stay clean shaven because I got them popping everywhere. But no, seriously, it's been a great experience. But what I didn't know is how much time and how much energy and effort is put into being a head coach. You know, it's not just basketball, it's a little bit of everything, but really it's maintaining kids and trying to make sure that they're balanced, never getting too high, never getting too low, and getting too low in a situation like mine. Creating a different atmosphere, trying to create a culture here of winning. And, you know, it's been difficult at times. It's been some rough patches, but I've enjoyed every minute of it.
Rebuilding a program is a tough process. What is next along those lines?
Well, it's like anything. I tell people this all the time. We can sit up here and talk about how great we think we coach and the things that we do that's making guys special on the floor. I'm a firm believer that you got to get players. That's the next process for me. You know, this has been a great season for me to evaluate each guy on our team. I have 4 seniors that'll be moving on, and everybody else, I've been taking intel just to kind of see where we're at and you know what I need, but at the end of the day, I need players.
I think the guy he's coaching against today would agree. As good as Mark Few is, he'd tell you need players.
Well, I like his honesty. You got to go out and get guys that can get it done. With his NBA experience, he played in a Final Four when he was at Arizona. He's great with skill development. He's going to get guys, he's going to get players, and he's going to get it turned around.
Now, speaking of players, it's time to talk about the West Coast Conference Player of the Year candidates. And Francis, we have 2 on the court today.
Well, Nigel Williams-Goss, I think he's the odds-on favorite to probably win the award. He's been great for them this year, whether it's making plays for himself or making plays for teammates. He's really been the leader of this team. He's had 3 30-point games, had one Thursday night earlier this week. But I think as we get into tournament time, you're going to see Nigel Williams-Goss even maybe more so see the cream rise to the top.
And then there's the beard, Shimmick Karnowski down low.
When you start talking about the Zags and you start talking about the scouting report, I think you actually start with him. How are we going to guard him? When he gets the ball in the post with his skill set, if you bring help, he's got great shooters around him. He's a great passer. He's going to get the ball to him. If you don't bring him any help, he's going to punish you by going over that right shoulder with that jump hook.
Down at Santa Clara, they're going to miss this guy, Jared Brownridge. He has had another outstanding season, part of a tremendous career.
I think career is the optimum word. He started every game that he's been at Santa Clara for 4 years. He's had 11 30-point games, including 4 this year. And the consistency that he's brought is what any coach would want on his team. So again, when it comes to tournament time, we've seen this guy go off for 40+ against Arizona last year. He can really get it done.
In Provo, they love watching this guy play, Eric Mika.
Back from his 2-year mission, big, strong, great footwork, great touch around the basket. He's a relentless, tireless worker. So anytime you're matched up against Eric Mika, you know that you're in for a long night. And again, tournament time, he could be a difference maker as BYU tries to right the ship and see if they can make some noise in the WCC tournament.
You look at the numbers, impressive across the board. I think you hit on a key point that was interesting. Karnowski of this group may be the toughest to defend in the entire conference.
I think so. I mean, he's just a nightmare matchup because of the players that he has around him. So again, when he gets the ball in the block, you got to make a decision. What are we going to do?
Much more going on today, of course, in the WCC. For more on that, we toss it to Angie Menting.
All right, guys, thanks. The McCarthy Athletic Center, 1 of 5 gyms playing host to WCC Hoops on the men's side today, and all 10 teams are in action this Saturday. We take a look at the WCC schedule for the rest of the day as teams jockey for position in the WCC tournament. After playing Thursday in Spokane, San Francisco heads to the Rose City for a clash with Portland. Loyola Marymount plays host to Pepperdine, and Jared Brownridge and Santa Clara face off with San Diego. Two of the best teams in the conference meet in Provo when 22nd ranked St. Mary's battles BYU. And remember, if you want to check out one of these hoop games, the W.TV is your home for West Coast Conference action. Visit the W.TV from your browser, smartphone, tablet, or connected TV to watch live out-of-market games for free. The W.TV, all the action anytime, anywhere. Well, up next on WCC This Week, presented by Geico, a look back at one of the greatest point guards in the history of the conference and the NBA. John Stockton set a new standard when it came to leading a team on the court, one that earned him a place in the WCC Hall of Honor. Plus, we'll talk with Mark Few about a current member on his Gonzaga squad, Josh Perkins. He's got some high praise for the sophomore, and we're going to get the inside story from one of Josh's teammates on the art of the high five, GU style, for the man known as the Prince of Park Hill. We are counting down to tip-off between the Zags and the Tigers.
A flush at the other end.
And they'll reset. And there's Karnowski! 2 hands and 2 points for Big Jim.
Welcome back to WCC This Week, presented by Geico. I'm Angie Mentink. We are counting down to the top of the hour when Gonzaga faces Pacific from the McCarthy Athletic Center. The Zags looking to stay #1 in the nation. Now, earlier this week, Coach Few was asked about his team's undefeated record. It's impossible to ignore. So how are they dealing with the pressure of the top ranking?
I think we're having a good time. I have not noticed one instance where we've been tight or, played, like this. I think these guys have really handled it well and are enjoying the success they're having, but they're not hung up in the, circumstantial kind of periphery stuff that everybody else wants to kind of wax on about. And they're just kind of into the moment with their teammates, and they're competitive enough to just kind of get focused in on the next task, which is what I like as a coach. Remarkably, they haven't really had a bad night yet. We've showed up and played pretty much every night. Looking back, I don't think we played great at Pacific. Maybe you might point at that one or something, but we were still competitive enough to win by 20 on the road. So I think that's pretty incredible for guys that are 18, 19, 20, 21 years old. not even the pro teams are able to pull that off.
Pretty impressive. Coach Few saw another tremendous performance from his team on Thursday. We take a look back at WCC action earlier this week. We began in Eastern Washington where the Zags played host to San Francisco, and the Dons not backing down early. Chase Foster connecting from deep to give San Francisco a 5-point lead, but the second half belonged to the Zags. It's a 16-point lead when Williams Goss finishes in the lane with the foul as well, and then just 30 seconds later, how about more from Williams Goss? This time he's hitting the jumper, draws the foul again. He finished the game with a game-high 30 Zags cruise. St. Mary's looking to get back on track against Loyola Marymount. Jock Landale making a statement early. He throws it down for the easy two. The Lions trying to keep it close. Stefan Jovanovic sinks the jumper to pull LMU within 4, but after that it was all St. Mary's. In the second half, Calvin Hermanson drains the 3, and the Gales make it look like an easy game. 81-48 the final there. BYU, meantime, hosting San Diego in Provo, and a big game for Nick Emery. He made 5 3-pointers the first half and finished with a team-high 26 points. Also pictured TJ Hawes with the exclamation point to end the first half. All 5 BYU starters scored double figures, and the Cougs win by a dozen. Portland looking to break a losing streak as they faced off with Pacific. Tight game in the first half. Pacific up 3, but Gabe Taylor tips it in to pull the Pilots within 1. But the second half, all Tigers. Ray Bowles opens up the frame with a 3 to extend the lead to 8. And then later in the half, it's KJ Smith doing a 3 of his own. Pacific downs Portland 76-65. All right, so a look at the WCC standings. Gonzaga, well, they are perfect 15-0 in league play. They are followed by St. Mary's and BYU. As we mentioned, those two teams meet in Provo tonight. A win today by the Zags and a loss by the Gales would clinch the regular season title for the Bulldogs. Santa Clara remains 1 game back of BYU in 4th place after they topped the century mark in their win over Pepperdine on Thursday.
Here's Williams Goss.
Break it down. I know you watching me, study and taking notes. What you saying? What you saying?
Watch it the other end.
Straight facts, no laying out.
Now, as our crew mentioned, Nigel Williams-Goss has enjoyed an MVP caliber season for the Zags, but he's just one part of a top-level backcourt. Josh Perkins and Williams-Goss, have developed quite a chemistry on the court, which allows them to share the load when it comes to playmaking and scoring. Coach Few, who knows plenty about good guard play, thinks Perkins is a difference maker for this squad.
We're a really, really, really good team when J3, asserts himself like that in the right moments. I mean, I think it makes us an elite team, and he's been able to do that in some really, really big games. I mean, here against St. Mary's, obviously down there, the Florida game. I think there's a couple others in there right when we really needed it. Played well at BYU, makes a big difference.
Nigel Williams-Goss and Josh Perkins, the latest in a long line of talented point guards to play at Gonzaga. And here are just a few who helped forge the tradition for outstanding play in the backcourt. Dan Dickow was another transfer who took off after moving to Spokane. Some other names include Jeremy Pargo, Kevin Pangos, Blake Stepp, and Matt Santangelo. A very impressive list, and by no means complete. Now, when you mention great point guards at Gonzaga, one name always stands out: John Stockton. Stockton, who went to high school in Spokane, played for the Zags from 1980 to 1984. Now, Stockton became the first player at GU to surpass the 1,000-point and 500-assist marks during his career. During his senior year of 1984, he scored in double figures in all 28 games and averaged just a shade under 21 points per game. He was also the Player of the Year in the conference. Now, after leaving Gonzaga, he was drafted by the Utah Jazz in the first round, a 10-time NBA All-Star. Stockton was named one of the NBA's 50th greatest players of all time. He's also part of this year's West Coast Conference Hall of Honor class, rightfully taking his place among some of the greats. All right, now Stockton, one of 10 individuals who will join that exclusive club this season. Here's a look at the rest of the group, which includes former Hoops coaches Paul Westhead and Dick Davey. The class will be formally inducted on Saturday, March 4th at the Orleans Hotel during the WCC Conference Tournament. Congratulations to each of this year's honorees. Now, John Stockton's daughter, Laura, is a sophomore on the Gonzaga women's team, and she provided all Bulldog fans with a thrilling moment last Saturday when she hit a game-winning jumper with 9 seconds left to beat St. Mary's at the McCarthy Athletic Center. Apparently ice running through those family veins. Stockton and her Gonzaga teammates are down in California today to face Pacific. Here is a look at the rest of the WCC schedule on the women's side. San Francisco plays host to Portland, while BYU will be at St. Mary's. Santa Clara travels to San Diego, and LMU collides with Pepperdine. Just a few games left until everyone heads to Las Vegas for the WCC tournament. Now you can watch games and get scores, stats, news, and more. Just download the free West Coast Conference app today from iTunes or Google Play. The WCC app is now available for Apple and Android tablets and smartphones. Well, he is the man with the plan and a handshake on the Gonzaga bench. Rem Bakamus is known in the kennel for his creativity when it comes to greeting his teammates during the starting lineups. Up next, Rem gives us the inside story on the high fives for each player and shows Sarah Cazell how it's done. Welcome back to WCC This Week, presented by Geico. We are counting down to our game between Pacific and Gonzaga. The Zags looking to stay perfect on the season, improve to 28-0. Now, if the Tigers pull off the upset today, they will likely need a big game from Ray Bowles. The junior from Modesto, California, leads Pacific in scoring at nearly 13 points a game. He's also second on the team in assists and steals. Bowles had 12 points the first time these two teams met in Stockton. And on the other side, Gonzaga leads the WCC in scoring and field goal percentage, thanks in part to their big guys in the middle. In fact, 3 Bulldog players own the top spots when it comes to shooting from the floor. Freshman Zach Collins is first at more than 65%. He is followed by Shemet Karnowski and Jonathan Williams, who both connect on more than 61% of their field goal attempts. Now, all of those buckets lead to lots of celebrations on the court for the Zags. Of course, when you average more than 85 points per game, well, there's plenty to cheer about. When it comes to enjoying the moment, though, few do it better than Bulldog Rem Bakamus. The senior has a special role at the start of each GU game when it comes to introductions. Sarah Cazell chats with Bakamus about the art of the handshake when it comes to his teammates.
Rem, thank you for taking the time to show me your expertise today.
Yeah, hopefully I don't waste your time talking about handshakes, but
No, that's exactly what we want to talk about.
I'm excited.
You have, by far and large, the most unique, specific, boisterous handshakes and celebrations. And I mean boisterous in a great way. I want to know how you come up with them. I want you to teach me how to do them. I just want to glean the knowledge.
My freshman year, I noticed nobody was at the end of the handshake line.
Okay.
Guys were just kind of running out there, doing the regular slap hands, and then I thought to myself, wow, that looks like a great role for me. So I stepped in as the new handshake guy, and then the next year, guys wanted to do handshakes, so I continued to fill that role. And ever since, I've been coming up with handshakes, and I'm the last guy they get to see after they go through the tunnel, which is really cool for them, you know, to get to see me and shake my hand, so.
What else could they want?
Yeah. Basically, starting lineups is just all about me.
Yeah.
Josh Perkins,
Okay.
the Prince of Park Hill. So we do this, and 2
Two,
times,
okay.
and then we like kind of roller coaster it up.
Yep.
Yeah. Then we come down, connect.
Some more.
No.
Oh.
And then we go like this. And then we just kind of salute each other, then we hug each other, and I say something like, have fun.
I love you, man.
Yeah. Nigel comes next. His, we really worked on a lot.
This year,
Yeah.
obviously.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's kind of lengthy.
Okay.
It's like this, not the typical.
Oh, okay.
And then you bump me, I bump you. We shake hands like this, and like this.
Okay.
Then we bump shoulders.
All right.
We go in like this, double tap.
Okay.
Sorry if that was too hard.
No.
Then we walk away from each other like it's over, you know?
Yep.
And then about the 3rd step, then we're like, ah.
Oh, and then connect here?
Yeah, then we bring it in. J3, we kept it simple. He transferred, we didn't really have time to come up with one, so we just go like this. 1, 2, 3, and then we just bow it. He bows to his sensei. Jordan Matthews, real simple as well. It's just 3 times. And then we do like a 3 because he's a really good 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
And then we just kind of connect it. And then Shemek, we've never changed it. It's just a firm handshake and look in the eyes. Sorry, I almost broke your wrist
You
on
actually
that.
cracked like 3 bones.
I was preparing for Shemek.
Slightly
Sorry,
different bone structure here.
So we just look each other in the eyes.
Okay.
Yeah, and then that's it. Mhm.
So how do you come up with these handshakes?
A lot of them have been passed on from past Zags. Like Kyle Guinness is the handshake part with Nigel, the 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
So I've just taken pieces over the years and
Okay. Recycle.
yeah,
repackage a
recycle. You
little
got
bit.
to.
I feel like we would be missing a huge opportunity if we talked about all these handshakes, but we didn't have our own.
Okay.
So, sorry to put you on the spot,
No,
but I
hey.
really want my own handshake round.
Hey, I'm with you. A lot of them start with this.
Yes, which I got down already.
We can hit the slope, you know, like
Uh-huh.
this. Connect
I'm
it
not
down
good at
here.
shooting threes, so we can't do that.
Yeah.
What if we just hold this for an awkwardly long time?
And just like
and
look
just
at
look
each
at
other.
each other until everyone around us is just like, well, they stop now.
I like it.
Okay, perfect. So we go up here, here. Just hold it. Why are you laughing?
I like it. It's a good one.
I think that's pretty
So
solid.
from now on, when I see you, we have to do that. Oh, good to see you. We're not gonna hug.
Nope, because we're professionals.
Yep.
Why are you pulling away?
Couldn't know when it was gonna end.
I'm really good at the awkward stare.
Yeah,
I should have warned you.
You did great. You're looking right into my soul.
Thank you. You did great. I appreciate you
thanks.
sharing your expertise with me today.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, thanks for coming.
Anybody else hoping that they were going to thumb more? All right, Sarah, thank you so much. We appreciate the context. Helpful to learn how those handshakes match the personalities for several of those Zag teammates. The Bakamus was a freshman on the 2012-2013 Gonzaga team that earned the first #1 ranking in school history, and now he's part of another top-ranked club. Pretty nifty for the kid from Longview, Washington. Well, in Malibu, Pepperdine's Lamont Murray Jr. helped rewrite history at his school. He's the back-to-back Player of the Week in the West Coast Conference. It is the first time since 2001 that a Wave has accomplished the feat. When Brandon Armstrong did it. That was a long time ago. Murray Jr. earned the honor in part after scoring 30 points in a win over BYU. And Santa Clara's Nate Cratch could have a head start for the next award. The senior set a career high with 32 points in the Broncos' win over Pepperdine on Thursday. He made 13 of 16 shots, including 5 3-pointers in their 106-55 win. Santa Clara set a school record for margin of victory against a WCC opponent. Well, perhaps we'll see a high-scoring performance in our game. Up next, we're going to head back to Spokane as we count down to tip-off on the WCC Game of the Week between Gonzaga and Pacific. The Tigers gave GU quite a test in their first meeting. Now they look for the biggest upset of the season in WCC play.